All right, welcome back to Cut the Slack. We are in May 2020. This is episode number 2, talking about the quarantine and the positive things that we've encountered from this whole lockdown thing. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lockdown doesn't sound fun, but we've pulled some great stuff out of it. So on the last episode, we talked about family and friends and just social interaction. But right there at the end, we kind of started touching on a new subject, and it kind of goes into a lot of things. There's freedom. Let's just start with freedom. And I think maybe that can be our topic of this particular discussion. You mentioned certain states thinking differently.
Right.
And California decided to lock down more and to have a very slow opening. Now, for me personally, I thought it was a good idea at first, and I was all on board. Then I didn't see a lot of things happen that they said were going to happen. I didn't see as many people get sick as I thought. And so I got affected. And then, of course, being an extrovert, being an entertainer, being somebody that loves to be out in the mix, I really was starved for that social interaction like we talked about. So when I heard more lockdown, I just got angry. I got real angry.
Yeah.
And then I heard that Arizona was opening up. So, I think you did that recently too.
Yeah.
We both decided to go to Arizona with our family, have some fun times over there, get some social interaction, and it was great. But I came back still kind of angry at California. You brought up a great point, though, about freedom and going where you want to go, man. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's this, and I'm going to weave in a lot of different subtopics into this because it's just so relevant right now. But, censorship is a thing.
Yeah.
You can't post things that go against certain narratives on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever it is.
We've all had a video taken down or a post taken down,
Yeah.
that they didn't think was right. That makes me think of First Amendment,
That's
freedom of speech. What's your view on that? I think you have a unique perspective.
Okay, so everyone is, they're complaining. They're saying, why are my videos getting taken down? This and that. Okay, first of all, these are private companies.
Facebook,
Instagram, Google.
Right, they're private companies.
These are private companies, and they will operate however they see fit.
They're not government entities, in other words.
Okay, they can shut it down right now if they wanted to.
They can just stop doing Facebook.
And there's no ramifications. This is a private company. If you don't like them, you can use other platforms. Do other platforms exist to that caliber? No. Okay, that's an opportunity then. That's an opportunity for people to create another YouTube that is zero censorship.
Right.
And then you get everyone to go there.
Right.
That's an option.
Right.
Okay, cool. So
good point.
If something's happening that you don't agree with, you have the freedom to switch, to shift gears.
Right.
Now,
and just like the other states, I guess. Right.
So that's what I was tying it into, is that there's digital censorship happening where people aren't happy with their content being removed. Okay, cool. So then get it onto a different platform. Just like that, if you're living in a state that is locked down, it's, these are political beliefs that are being imposed on its citizens, and you as a citizen have the right to get up and leave.
Right.
If you're in California and everything's locked down and you're like, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
Pack up your stuff and move your family to Arizona. Move to Montana. Go to Wyoming. Go to South Dakota. Go to these different places where you can live out beliefs that you're in alignment with.
I love that perspective because, initially you just want to kick and scream, kind of like a child, you just want to, I want my da-da-da, and California this, that, and the other, and I don't like the governor, and a lot of people are on that bandwagon. But the point you made was that, hey, if you don't like what they're doing in California, then just go to Arizona.
That's it.
You can go get a job there. If you're self-employed, you can move your business there, whatever it is. It's not always that easy, but you really can.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel converse about that. They feel the opposite. So maybe they're in Arizona and they don't feel comfortable, and they like the fact that California is taking it slower.
Right.
And opening slower, and maybe that's what they want. So they have then the freedom and the right to go ahead and move to California where things are like they like it. So I love that perspective because I was getting real fed up with certain things, and I thought, after you said that, I'm like, he's right.
Yeah, we still have, we still have freedom of movement, and we can move to different states that are more in alignment with our belief structure.
Right.
So, if you're in a state that's, opening up and you think, oh, it's too much, okay, go to California, go to New York, go live in New York City.
Yeah.
If you want to be under lockdown.
Right.
Okay.
And that's okay.
And that's fine. If you're in New York City or California or Washington and you want to experience some freedom, go. Get up and leave. And so this all spawned from a conversation that I was having with a buddy of mine. We were talking about relationships.
Yeah.
And how, a lot of people, they stay stuck in relationships too long. They don't want to cut it because they're just used to it. They're comfortable. It's just become a way of their life, and splitting or getting a divorce, it's overwhelming. They're like, no, I don't want to go through all that, but it's like, and in the back of your head, as an individual, you should always be prepared to be alone. Like, it should not be some devastating, oh my God, my life is over because this person left me.
Right.
You
were
should
single through most of the first part of your life.
That's it. So it's like you should have the confidence, the wherewithal, that fluidity, that nimbleness to be able to shift gears and keep moving on your track.
Yeah.
And that's true for both parties. You cannot have this like codependent, toxic, spiraling cycle of bad energy, for years and years and years. If you're not happy, then you should have the confidence to say, I'm done. I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. And this is an adult decision that I've made, not out of rage, not out of emotion,
right,
not out of this nasty, spillage of negative, dark energy.
Sure.
Like, come to the table, have a conversation, shift gears, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Same thing is true with the state that you live in. Sure. If you're not liking what's happening, don't go and hold a picket sign and get a bullhorn. Like, that's protesting. That's a right. I agree.
You can do that
to a certain
sure.
point. I'm just more of like, don't beg for freedom. Just go get it.
Right.
Just go get it.
Yeah.
So, and the same is true for a country even. People leave their countries all the time, used to go to America because that's where freedom was. That was the place to be. And we're just like every other country now under lockdown. So It's like, if, where is it? Is it Sweden? That's an even bigger change. If you're going to moving to Arizona versus moving to Sweden, that's a way bigger commitment.
Sure.
Way more resources. But again, you have the power to do that.
Sure.
Like, it's on the table as an option.
You do.
You don't just complain and bitch and moan about what's going on. Oh, my video got removed on YouTube. Okay, cool. Start your own platform.
Right. And that's the freedom of America right there, is if you don't like the way somebody's doing something, you can change it or you can create your own thing. Yeah. And I think about that, like, when I started kind of, really kind of meditating on the things you were saying, I thought, you're right, because when you can go to certain restaurants. In certain restaurants, you can wear a Tommy Bahama shirt and flip-flops. In certain restaurants, you can't.
Right.
You have to wear dress clothes. You have to wear a jacket, maybe even a tie.
Right.
Or you can't go in the restaurant because that's the way they do it at their private business.
Right.
And Facebook is not the government. Maybe they have things to do with the government nowadays, but they are a privately owned company. I mean, they're publicly traded, but they're not our company.
Right.
And they do have to keep limits on certain things,
Yeah.
And because of the size and the expansiveness, there is some actual social responsibilities that they have. They can't have people inciting riots on their platform. That's riots are not good.
There's freedom of speech, but you can't yell fire in a movie theater or whatever it is.
Now, if you want that, you can go. If you want to be able to have political rhetoric and things like that, you can go to a different platform or create your own video platform that is just completely uncensored. There are some sites like that just are all. You can also find sites and social media platforms that are all people that share your exact same views.
Right.
You know, they're all right wing or they're all left wing, and that's all they have there. So of course they're going to allow you to share your opinions, no matter how angry you might be.
Yeah.
Because that's what that platform is all about. So that made a lot of sense to me, and I realized that I was being a little bit of a baby in some regards, where you're like, go somewhere else, dude.
Yeah. So there's, and there's this whole thing like, Elon Musk, he said, I'm opening up my factory, and if you want to come arrest me, do it. But if you do that, I'm moving my whole factory to Texas.
Yeah.
So these are real moves, you
Right.
know, and that idea of I'm going to do what I want, and if you do this, then there's going to be a reaction there.
Sure.
That is America. That is American. And, we're seeing like that salon owner who got arrested, and she came out, she started to GoFundMe, she got $500,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
Because people support that. They want people to have a backbone. They
Sure.
want to support people that
Are brave enough.
are brave enough. It's land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at? So we're seeing these little pockets of bravery, and the people are backing it, you
Sure.
know, whether it's Elon Musk. I think there's a barber in Michigan. He's 73 years old. And he said, I locked down for 2 weeks, and I have bills to pay, I think the property tax person called and said, hey, we're looking for your property tax. And he goes, you guys just shut my business down, but you're still wanting to collect property taxes on my property. And she goes, yeah, well, that's not my department. You're gonna have to take that up with the legislate.
Yeah, sure.
I just want the money.
Yeah.
And so, these conversations, and that's what I'm saying, like, this whole thing, like, brought back to life these ideas of freedom, and people do support it. Maybe they're scared to be the guy to go out and say, I'm doing this, and if you want to take me to jail, do it.
Right.
Maybe they don't want to do that, but maybe if they know of someone who is defying orders and running their business still, they're going to shoot them some money through a GoFundMe account.
Yeah.
They're going to PayPal them some money. That's support,
Yeah.
And that same barber, he had dozens of Michigan militia people show up there, ex-military. These are dudes that went to combat. They're ex-law enforcement. They showed up with weapons, with body armor, and they said, you're not taking him anywhere, because he first got a bill or a fine, and then they said, if we come back, we're going to arrest you. He made all of this public, and because he made it public, people showed up armed and ready to defend this barber from law enforcement.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's a beautiful thing, and there have been friends of ours that are doing the same thing. They're saying, you know what, enough is enough. Like, I'm open, and if you want to come, there's a little temperature thing. There's 6 feet. You can wear a mask, not whatever you want to do, but you're an adult, okay? You're an adult, and you make your own choice. And they're running a risk, right? They may get raided. They may cops may come and they may arrest him. But again, everyone knows what's going on. And that's like the whole idea of freedom is you can do whatever you want. You can sell chairs. You can make lighting. You can build motorcycles. You can do all these things to generate income for yourself and create a life for yourself. But when they take all that away, you now have to focus on what's happening politically. Mm-hmm. Like you said earlier, it's like, I'm passionate about connecting with people and creating a fun environment and doing all these things. Whatever's happening up at, Sacramento, they can squawk all they want, like I don't have to get involved. But when you take that away, when you take away someone's livelihood, now, okay, we need to focus on what's going on, because this obviously is a problem. So, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Well, I do know where you're going with it. We started talking about just the freedom of choice. Really, is where we were at. we talked about the fact that, if you don't like what Facebook is doing, go to another platform. It may not be as big as Facebook, but hey, you can go to another platform and say whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you don't like what California is doing, go to Arizona or go to a state that's doing what you like. And you have that freedom and the ability to move and reposition yourself. If you're in a bad relationship, you have the freedom to choose to get out of that relationship and go to something new. And now, you touch on a new topic, and we'll get into that in the next episode.